We have all seen divisions which have been in action depleted in their numbers. We have seen them kept back from the trenches while the officers are waiting and hoping and expecting to get the recruits which are not forthcoming. Gentlemen opposite, who are so much opposed to this bill, should remember that now it is not a question of principle. Now it is a question of what the army wants, what our allies expect, and what our soldiers are hoping for.
Do any of the honourable members opposite, who feel very strongly in favour of conscription, think there is any man on this side that does not want us to win the war? Do you honestly think any of us want to see Germany triumphant? It is not a question of whether we want to win the war or not, but whether we think this is a wise measure or not, and whether it is likely to conduce to the winning of the war. If we are now really concerned with the defence of our country and the defence of the empire, we have got to ask ourselves whether it is not more dangerous to pass this bill than it is to let it slide. I'm only pointing out that if you get discontent as you have got in this House, you are likely to get discontent amongst the working classes in as large proportion. And I am asking myself whether it is worthwhile, for the sake of this bill, to provoke a conflict which is only just beginning and which will grow and grow during the next 6 months until it reaches such a position it will force you into an inconclusive peace.
I have said that there are 650,000 single men or thereabouts unattested for reasons best known to themselves. What does this bill propose? It simply proposes that those 650,000 men be regarded as having attested, and that each and every one of them has the opportunity of stating their case and sustaining their claim. And if they have any proper reasons, such as conscientious objections, being medically unfit, or any other reason that they can adduce and can be sustained, then they are not called upon to serve. The marvel to my mind there's been so much bother on this matter.
I decline to stand by and see older men taken when younger men can go. I decline to stand by and see our education system robbed while men who are doing nothing, and many of them barely educated at all, simply stand in idleness and boast about our deeds in the war. We have reached a point where it is obvious that we cannot come through fairly with the voluntary system. I want to see a system that will do even-handed justice all through the country.
So far as an outsider may hazard an opinion, this war will probably be won or lost before the men who will be called upon to enlist under this Act will have a chance of seeing a shot fired. I have heard competent military men say that we have, at the present time, enough men of the right kind to win the war, if only we know how to make the best use of them. If we have men of the right kind to lead them, and if we have a ministry of the right kind prepared to make up its mind and to stick to it. I confess, on the other hand, I find it hard to understand the hubbub which is made in this House about compulsion. Compulsion to fight for your own very lives. It would seem strange to any man of honour and patriotism that compulsion by your trade unions and by the presentation of white feathers should be deemed less objectionable than a form of compulsion that would place all men and all classes on the same democratic level for the carrying on of a war, which is undoubtedly the greatest war we have ever engaged in. That is why we claim that Ireland, as a separate entity, is entitled to entirely different treatment in reference to these colossal imperial wars.